Hello everybody, hey, this is Ken Faulkner. It's time for another knife video. I'm still getting through a big batch of knives I bought Blade Show West. You've been hearing about it if you've been watching my channel. And this one is kind of like for me, this is a little bit of a flex, I guess you'd call it, when somebody shows off some premium knife. For me, this is me breaking through my price boundaries, and up till recently, $300. That's been kind of that ceiling that I haven't gone through yet. This knife is one of the ones that, as I was thinking about going to Blade Show, I was listing off some knives. I mean, there was this long build up for it. Listing off the knives that I really wanted to get, and this one I was hearing about, and it just looked cool, and it sounded like, and I was looking about, how available it was, and certainly it seems like one of those knives that you're going to go on the website trying to find it, and then you're going to see that sold out sign so often. And if you go to the shows, it's a good opportunity to pick up stuff like that. So this one is from Null Knives, and it is called the Voodoo. And this is a really cool looking knife. I really like it. There's some things about it that are kind of been appealing to me lately. I think as people collect more and more knives, you kind of start maybe changing what you're looking for in knives, or things that are just a little more appealing than other things. And I really like this. I've always been a fan ever since buying budget knives, a fan of micarta. But then you get into the more premium stuff, and a lot of the stuff is titanium. Well, here we go. We got the best of both worlds. We got micarta as kind of the main portion of the scale, and then we have kind of the titanium bolster up here, which is really cool because you get that frame lock, which is basically, it is a frame lock because it is taking the whole frame there, but it falls underneath the micarta portion of the scale, making it really nice for flicking the knife open. And look at that blade, without putting pressure on that lock bar, because the lock bar is mostly hidden underneath there. So you get that subframe lock, or bolster lock as they call it. But man, this blade shape is also something that I've been looking into quite a bit. This video may turn into one of my long ones, because as I was getting ready to do this video, look at that micarta. I really spent a bunch of time, because I started thinking, man, I've been buying a lot of these knives with this kind of shape. And then I started looking at my little spreadsheet I have of all my knives, and one of the things I put on there to define the knives, one of the categories is the blade shape. And I started looking at all the different knives that I have that have this shape, and it's funny because when you go in there, some of them are called sheep's foot, some of them are called Warncliffe, and some of them are called reverse tanto. Remember when everything was being called reverse tanto for a while? That was a few years back. I remember it was just, everybody was putting out these reverse tanto knives, and there's a bit of an argument about it. Is that really a tanto if it's a reverse tanto, or is it a clip point? Is it a clip because it has this clip on the end? So anyway, whatever you want to call it, all these names, you can argue about them all day, but it's just about, there's a certain shape. And this one is cool because you get that slight, you see that slight curve on there? A lot of the Warncliffe sheep's foot knives, they really don't have a tip, they don't have a point on the end, and that is something, they talk about getting that splinter. This one can get that splinter. And that's just something appealing to me, you know, just aesthetically for a knife. I really like that. This also kind of has a little bit of a harpoon. It's kind of a cool version of one though, because it's got this kind of hollow swage, if you I don't know if you can call it that. You know, it's normally a swage is gonna be flat, but this has an actual hollow in the swage itself. And then you can also see that down here we got a nice hollow grind here, and then got some good grinding up here by the what would be the thumb stud, but it's more of a thumb triangle. Try to get that in the shot and get the focus. And the crazy thing is that thing works really well. I mean, I find that it's very easy to get a hold of that thing with your thumb or with your middle finger for the reverse flick. It just works darn well. I mean, if someone really, you know, when they went to make it, it's not just for something different. They really must have taken some time and figured out what's going to work. It's got that great jimping where it's extended out on the blade a little bit. Some people would like it to go out a little bit further, but you kind of have that out here. Once you get out to this point, you got that that harpoon kind of thing, so that kind of helps with the grippiness. And so you're not sliding down the blade, and this kind of helps sliding up the blade. Really nice, nice. The way that the bolster has the same kind of feature, that grind into the micarta that follows right into the titanium like that, up on the top and down on the bottom. It's got a nice finger area here that works also with the forward choil, which is kind of like that 50-50. And these are all things that are checking boxes for me. You know, as you get to learn a little bit more about knives and you see more knives, you start to see little features of them that you really like. And this 50-50 choil, very nice. Having a little choil here to help with the grip on the knife is great. The rest of it's more neutral. It's got a little bit of a grip here, but my fingers really fit into that spot very well. The top's got a little, there's just so many little features on this knife. It really shows a lot of thought, and to me, it looks very cool. It's fairly lightweight knife. It is a full size for me. Not the not the biggest knife out there, but it's definitely got. Get the old ruler out here. See what our cutting length is going to be. So look at that. You got about 3.5 inches there on the cutting length, and that's going to leave your blade length at almost 3 3/4. So that's a full size knife right there. Your handle's going to be about 4.5. So your bigger handed people are going to be able to fit on there, and if you choke up, you got plenty. You got plenty there. So it's a good sized knife, but the weight on it, and I gotta get myself a scale and start being official and professional about this whole thing, but that'll come with time. I think I'm kind of trying to improve what I do a little bit at a time. So it's got that frame lock that's almost got the feature of the liner lock where you're not going to put pressure on it. Great access to it. Action. Very easy. Very easy. Very smooth. When you spend, this one was about $360, at least on the website. I think I paid about $340 at the show. Usually they drop a little bit on the price, but still past that ceiling that I've had in the past. But when you buy something like that, you want to have just smoothness. You want to feel like this thing was designed and built well, and it is. Shows the fingerprints a little bit. I don't mind that. It's a great look. I don't know if that's what you'd call some kind of a blast in this area here where the rest is satin. That swage on the top looks really cool. So I really like this knife. Now, like I said, it took me a while to prepare for this video. Let's go through a couple more of the specs. So this is the Null Knives Voodoo, if I didn't mention that already. And so I guess it's a very popular knife. I think it was sold on Urban EDC, Urban Supply website. That's not where I was looking at it, but I know there's a lot of cool knives like the F5.5 and some of those really cool knives that are well sought after come off of that website. It is a black micarta titanium bolster, and the blade material on this one is going to be M390. So it's kind of hitting all those quality premium kind of materials, putting it all together in a really beautiful package. You already saw the size of it. So it's the shape. I've always been kind of a drop point guy. I like spear point, drop point. Lately, these ones with a little clip on the end here that have the tip coming down a little bit lower, and everybody likes that, to be able to get that tip down on whatever they're cutting for that utility. So it's got that advantage as well. So this has been, I guess I really didn't notice that I was so fond of it, but then when I started going through my collection, that's what took so long, is I just started finding knife after knife after knife. So I found 8 other knives with this blade shape, and I didn't get through everything, so there may be more. So just to go through a few of those, I'll move this guy up a little bit. We got the, if we can get everybody in the frame here. We got the smock from Spyderco. It's got a hollow too as well, so that's similar. Back this out a little bit so we can get everybody in. The smock. Here's a somewhat old school one. It's the Malibu. And when I was looking at my spreadsheet, I had called this the reverse Tonto because this is back when it was so popular. I don't know, does anybody call this shape a reverse Tonto anymore? I haven't really heard it much lately. But anyway, there's the Malibu, and it's got that cool shape. Probably the first knife that I bought with that shape on it. I got one from Tempest Knives. This is the Pinion. Also with that shape. It's got a little bit more of an upsweep here. I think all these kind of more to the sheep's footy because it's got, I don't know. I'm not the expert on this, what you call the shapes, but it does have a little bit of a belly, just a slight belly. So there's the Tempest, nice Pinion. This one's closer to a Wharncliffe for sure. Let's see what it looks like on the ruler. Yeah, you do still have a little bit of a belly there. You can see that rocking back and forth. Now, this is a recent one. This is the Cetus, and this one is from Orion. A little different because it's got a curve through it, but it still does have that clip sort of thing on the front, so I still consider it that kind of shape. But this one I think is a little bit more of that traditional Wharncliffe, maybe a little bit of lift at the very tip near the edge, but still very similar shape that's been calling me lately. This is one that I've had for a while too, and I didn't even think about it until I was going through my knives and thinking that it's one of those shapes, but this is the Osborne from Benchmade. It's a very well-known knife. Now, this is not that cool one that Billy and Courtney are going to be giving away on their 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Apex Alchemy. Go to Apex Alchemy, check it out. They got 3 cool knives that they're going to be giving away, but they have the knife that started the channel, which was a Benchmade Osborne, but the tip had been broken off, and then it had been remodified to give a hollow grind, whereas this has a flat one, by Satu Dave, and sharpened by Lacey EDC, Lacey Lace. And so that one's kind of a special knife, kind of like his Chavez that he has on his channel. It's just a one-of-a-kind now because it's been modified because it had that broken tip. So anyway, check out his channel, or their channel, really. Courtney's part of it. Billy and Courtney, Apex Alchemy. Get in on the giveaway. All right. Next one I found as I was going through, recent one for the collection. Again, we got the hollow and the clip. And this is the Devo Mash. So you can see how recently even, I've been really seeing this shape and being called by it. I mean, when I'm buying knives, I always have a whole bunch of knives on my list. And I got to figure out what I'm going to spend my money on because I just don't have unlimited money. I'm not the type to take my credit card and just spend on it and not have a plan for paying that thing off. So that's what happens. And these knives have really been something that have been interesting to me. This is one, I don't know if I've shown this. I've shown it briefly from the Blade Show. This is the Vision from Civivi. Haven't done a video on this one yet. Sneck design. I'm gonna do a video on this one. Got that different. I think they're calling it the Super Lock, which I don't know if I would. You know, names are hard to come by, hard to think of. But Super Lock, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's what I think. That's what they're calling it. But it does have that shape again. Now this is a flat, but still that shape. Man, very cool. And the last one, which you've seen recently on a video, is the Hogue Deca. And of course, this one's been around for a while. It's a little bit different because it's got almost a, it's almost like a tanto here. It almost comes to not quite to a point, but it's not your traditional belly. It's like two different cutting edges here as you go along the blade. But again, that blade shape. So clearly, just what they call empirical data, which is taking things that you actually have seen occurring in life that prove that this blade shape is very, very popular in my mind. And this knife is definitely one of my premium knives in my collection. And so wanted to share it with you guys. And I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment. Give me a like if you want. Subscribe. All that kind of thing. I think I'm coming up on 400 subs. Still a small channel. Small, slow growing. But we got a great group of people that watch and comment on these videos. So join in and we'll grow slowly and have a lot of fun. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.